All right. Happy Friday, everybody. Glad to be here with you all. My name is Vernon Driscoll. I'm the assistant principal here at Michelle Clark. We have to my left.
Trinell Jordan, the early college STEM specialist here at Michelle Clark.
I'm Charles Anderson, the principal at Michelle Clark.
I am Ryan Turner, the technology coordinator here at Michelle Clark.
Awesome. And today we're going to be starting our podcast on a book called The Man You're Called to Be. So, as my partners in crime here may tell you, they'll probably tell you, or at least Principal Anderson will, that I just started reading the book today, and that's okay.
While the rest of us had already read it for 3 days ago.
Yeah,
so
I'm a little bit behind, but what I've read thus far has been definitely some good information and powerful tools that I think all men can take and use in their lives on a regular basis. What do you all think was like the most powerful?
Before we do that, can we just tell them all about the book? Like that it's by Anthony Bryce, just so they would know.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
The book is by Anthony D. Bryce.
And it's a 100-day journey to power, clarity, and rebuilding your life. So it's a whole 100 days of activities and thoughts that we kind of journal along with him on.
Okay. So yeah.
And so we're day 3, right?
Anthony
Day 3.
D. Bryce. We're on day 3.
I didn't read my day 3 yet, but
I also haven't read my day 3.
You probably haven't read your day 2 either.
I just read my day 2 actually. I read day 1 and day 2. So
today day 3. So
today is day 3.
I think the day 3 resonated with me more than.
Dang.
Yeah, me too. But let's wait because they don't know what day 3 is.
Oh.
I mean, if we're gonna do this, we have to give it our all. But anyway, we decided to do this, and Mr. Williams is missing from Jaquez Williams is missing from this group. But we decided to just start this group, figuring out how do we work to be the man that we are called to be, but also how do we reach other students. So the goal is that as we do this, we're going to pick up students along the way. So today really is maybe like an overview to talk about like why this was important to us, what do we hope to get out of it, and then we can talk about the first 3 days because it's 100 days, but each page, each day gives us something different to think about and to push forth with. And so I'll start with just saying what I'm hoping to get out of it is a better relationship with these young men. I can say young because I'm probably the oldest, but with these young men, but also that we're able to figure out how do we reproduce, because I think that it's sad if you do great things and nothing happens when you're gone. And so I think it's important that we think about if we start figuring out what we're doing that's great or not great, how do we get others to be involved? So the goal will be to get other young men to be a part of this and start pulling them into journaling with us and thinking through things. Any thoughts on that? Or
I think the first thing I got to do is start being on time with my reading.
Yeah.
I got to get on task.
Yeah, because if you're not, then you can't bring anybody along because they'll be like, why do the other people seem so far ahead?
Yeah, they be missing something.
Right.
So it's getting on the same page.
Stay on.
But I do want to ask, like, so far from what we've read, what would you each say has been like the most powerful quote or point that you've read thus far?
I'll start. Day 3 was about.
Day 3 that they haven't read, so go ahead.
Yeah, day 3 was about like expectations being weighing on a man, and like for me, for a long time, I come from a pretty big family, so I always visioned and wanted a big family. So going into my 29th year, I don't have any kids. So for a while, that like weighs on me, always feeling like I gotta start a family and find a wife, and that's always heavy on me. But after reading this, I'm like, I shouldn't be putting that much weight on me, that much expectations on me in that particular area, and kind of just go with my intuition, live. If it's meant to be, it'll kind of happen. So kind of just taking those expectations off myself, kind of, I think it'll kind of help me be better.
Because with those expectations, do they push you to do things differently because you're like, I need to have this family, or I feel like I haven't been successful without this huge family or this wife right now?
Yep. Trying to be in a relationship instead of just authentically just letting it flow. Yes, those things kind of weigh on me a little bit here and there.
Yeah, I would, and I'm glad that you brought that up, even though I haven't read the chapter yet. Those expectations are also things that I have to deal with as well. You know, I'm 32. I'm a few years older, but
I hope we're not gonna tell our ages when it starts turning to talk.
I wasn't planning on telling my age.
that's
Right.
fine.
No, I'm
Me
just
and
I'm
Jordan-
talking.
no,
Hey, I'm just talking.
Hey, you got it. But so I think, you know, just with my family, I'm really the only one of the only boys. It's like I got one cousin. He has 2 kids. But I'm the only one that doesn't have any kids, not married, and you know, I think they're waiting on me.
Waiting on you.
For sure.
But you know, it's just like, and I do feel that pressure at times. But then you know, I have people like Principal Anderson that you know encourage me to like just take my time and do things. You know, when I'm ready, and then like when things are aligned. So I do appreciate like that balance.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that I took from the book, is making sure that I do have balance in my life, because I feel like we get into certain spaces where we keep grinding and it's not sustainable. Like chapter 2 talked about burnout, you know, and that's something Principal Anderson and a few other people have told me, like, you know, make sure you taking care of yourself, you know, don't burn out.
Yeah.
So I think that that's another important aspect of the book.
And I think the 2 things that you guys talked about, burnout, it doesn't have it doesn't say something like, oh, you're about to burn out, you're about to crash out. It happens. And then once it happens, you're like, I don't know how I got here. And the problem with how I got here is sometimes we don't know how to get out of where we are then, you know. The other thing that I would say about the heavy expectations, and especially since you brought up expectations about like being married or having kids and all that, that also brings, if we want to be honest, it also brings expectations of that you're not meeting your own, like I'm not good enough. It brings those type of feelings. I'm not, they don't see me handsome. They don't think that I could, you know, so you constantly start having these self-reflection pieces that continue to down you and make you feel bad, which leads to other things of performance in your work, in your personal life, in your professional lives, all those things, because now you just never feel like you're good enough to meet those expectations, because I don't have the kids, or because I'm not married and all my friends are married, or because one of my friends now is having a kid and I don't have it. What's wrong with me, right? And whenever we think about what's wrong with us, we always think, you know, or I come from a single family home. My dad is alcoholic. My mom, you know, when we start thinking about what's wrong with me, then we never think about what's right with us, because it's easy to hear the negative before you hear the positive. And I think as men, we work so hard and grind to be the best, to take care of our families, to be the strong one, that we never have moments that we're able to say, I'm tired. Because we're not allowed to be tired. We're just not.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if you guys feel that or if that makes sense in that, but.
No, I agree. And so, like, you all know, like, I also work at a church and I'm doing all these extra things. And so I have to find times where I, like, don't do anything because I'm leaving here, going to somewhere else, and then going to another place. And that's, you're not giving your body any time to rest, or your mental any time to rest. And the burnout is serious, and I have experienced that, and it's not a good feeling. And so I encourage everybody to, you know, take a day or take however long you need to just get some rest.
But you have to give up feeling guilty. Like if I went home right now and it's let's say I get home at 5:00 today and I was like, I'm going to bed, I would feel guilty. I would be like you don't supposed to go to right. It's too early, man. I must be getting lazy, or man, there's something else I should be doing, or that's why I brought my laptop home. Let me figure out what else is going on in the world, or let me see what's going on social media so I can keep up, instead of just saying I'm going to bed because I'm tired.
Yeah.
Like, when was the last time any of us really did that?
Yeah, that's that's powerful. I was just telling my mom this like 2 days ago, cause she always say like what you running from? Cause I'm just always doing something, and I'm like nothing. If I sit down and just dedicate 2 hours to watching TV or just relaxing, I just don't feel like I'm being productive. It's like I need to be doing something. And the scary part is like after reading this book, they was saying how like you said you don't know the burnout is coming, then you end up in like a situation where you so stressed you hurt your body health wise, and then you're in the hospital, and you don't want those kind of issues. So yes, me learning to like just it's okay to be cool for 2 hours or 3 hours and not do no work and just sit down and be okay. That's something I'm kind of implementing in my life.
Yeah. And in the book it said, you know, your body will, you know, force you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you don't do it yourself of your own will, your body will literally sit you down. And I'm pretty sure you all know this, but I had surgery, you know, 6 or 7 weeks ago at this point. I had an inguinal hernia from lifting weights. So it's like, you know, as much as I love lifting weights, I also like, you know, maybe shouldn't have been going as hard in certain areas, and I should have, you know, eased my way into certain things. So your body will definitely tell you, and then you have to make sure that you're following the doctor's orders and, you know, getting that rest. Because if you don't, you're going to be in the same situation.
It'll catch
it
up
could be
with
worse.
you for sure.
Yeah, we just can't beat ourselves up over the rest, and we also can't, because when you don't stop, when you feel like I can't stop, it's also a sign that you're trying to, and like your mom said, what are you running from? It's also a sign that I'm trying to be better. I want to be best. And sometimes that pressure is just pressure put on us. It's not other people. We just think that we have to be better than so-and-so, or we have to be better at this. And we set these high expectations. And if something happens outside of those expectations, so let's say a loved one gets sick, or all of a sudden we have to have surgery, or you know, something changes in the economy, or we lose wages or something. We are now dealing emotionally, socially, mentally, and then physically. And a lot of times we just think that it's only about the physical, but it's the mental. If your brain has shut down, your body ain't moving. And so we don't always think like that, because real quick, the story of like John Henry with the railroad. You guys know that story? Is that old? It's probably old. Okay. So John Henry with the railroad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he always, he built and would beat the railroad. So he was taking care of his family, blah, blah, blah. But his goal was that he would build the track, and he would be able to beat the train. And so he kept pushing himself. But in the midst of doing it, even if he beat the train, what was the result of that? It was high blood pressure. It was lack of time with his family. It was how bad his body was, and all of those things. And so sometimes we're trying to be better than a train, a machine, and we're trying to be better than that machine, that we forget all the other pieces that make us ineffective. We don't realize the impact. And so that's why this is important, as we talk about this, that we start bringing in students in, so that they can then understand it. Because a lot of times, if we even think back to high school, we're like this because something made us like this. Something made us feel like we had to compete. Something made us feel like we had to be better. Something made us feel like I should have kids before I'm 30. I should have this, and I should have this wife. I should have this picket fence. Something made us like that. And so we have these underlying pressures that sometimes are unspoken.
I agree.
So I think as we continue to go through the book and share with people who want to hear the stories, I think we'll hear more stories of hopefully men sharing and seeing like, hey, that's me. Like, I'm tired, but I can't stop because I'm in this, you know. And maybe we'll see where people will then start having the answer and say it's okay for me to be tired, or for me to stop for a moment. I always think that if you go on vacation, sometimes you need almost like more than 2 weeks, because you need a week just to remember that you're on vacation.
Yep.
And then after you remember you're on vacation, it's really time to go back. And now you're thinking about going back. So you never really had a moment that your mind just completely resolved or dissolved from anything.
And one more thing that I wanted to bring up that I thought was really powerful. In day 2, it says, doubt shows up when you're on the edge of growth. Um, with the rest, we also have to continue to believe that, you know, we are worthy of the opportunities that have been presented to us.
For sure.
You know, because
That's powerful.
I know like something that I struggle with, and I guess this is me being somewhat vulnerable, is like, just me being the assistant principal. I'm kind of young,
For sure.
just
And the principal's over the hill. No. No.
But taking on that role, it's not that I don't have the experience in the classroom and the leadership positions as a teacher, but
Sometimes it's like, why me?
Yeah.
Why do I get to do this? Why do I get to experience this? I'm not, I don't have a wife. I don't have kids. I'm not that smart. There are other people smarter. And I'm always saying there are people, I would never sit and say I'm the smartest person always. If you're the smartest person in the room, then you need to change your group.
Sure.
You need to change your group. You always want to be with people who could be part of what's going on, part of your uplift that you can learn from as well. And I think it's important to always remember that when I'm in a room, I'm looking to say, what can I glean from this person? And so even in this room, I'm looking at you guys like, y'all gonna teach me some things. Hopefully I'll get some things out, but that we'll be able to give people who are listening some things, and we'll be better for it. Mm-hmm. But it's standing in your calling. And I don't know if that's one of the chapters coming up, but it's standing in your calling and not being afraid. But it goes back to number 3, where if you feel like I'm not good enough because I haven't arrived, then it's hard to stand in your power that's been given to you too.
I completely agree, and I think that there's that balance, and then the need to like give, and then also receive, and we have to be open to receiving from anybody, whether it be a student, whether it be a teacher, whether it be a parent, other staff members, each other. Just have an open ear and receiving the good things that they have to give, and then also being willing to give back. It's that reciprocity is so important. I think and when we reciprocate, and when other people reciprocate, we can fill each other's cups and like really do the work that we're here to do.
I agree.
Yeah. So we're running out of time. So I want to say, let me see if I can hold mine up. Is that it's The Man You're Called to Be by Anthony D. Bryce. We decided to pick it up and start reading on it. You're welcome to join. I know you can get it on Amazon, TikTok, and probably any of your other books. We're going into 4. Each day is a small page that kind of gives you a challenge also to look in your personal and home life, and your professional life. So we hope that you would join. If not, get the book. Just hear what we got to say about it and see where it resonates with you. So on that, I'll say thank you on behalf of Turner, Jordan, and Driscoll and myself, and Williams will be with us next time. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.